Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. This is Westchester on the Level with your host, Hezi, Aris.
Good morning, everybody. Well, it's Wednesday, April 17th, 10 o'clock on the Eastern Seaboard, and we've got some wonderful guests today. We're going to begin by talking with Tasha Diaz. She is running for Yonkers City Council, District number 3. And then we're going to follow up at about 10:30 with Lorraine Lopez, and we're going to talk about politics. We'll dish and have a fun time about that. That's always good. So first, let's welcome Tasha Diaz. Good morning, Tasha. What a pleasure to have you on the show.
Good morning, Hezi, and good morning, Yonkers. Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm excited, but do you believe that people have a lot of awareness of who you are yet? I know from a community perspective they do, but I guess not everybody knows everybody. You know, it took me a long time before I got to ever be introduced to you. This was a long time ago, though. But so, how did you ever get involved in the community, and what makes you want to climb up to the political world where you could have much more impact than you've ever had before?
Well, my family is a large family. We've always been involved in the community. From day one, my grandmother, Mary Blackman, God bless her soul, she always taught us the importance of giving back. You know, everybody could take, but, you know, there's an importance in giving back. So from young, this was instilled in me. And I just carried it on through generations, through my children, you know, teaching them how to give back, you know, and from then on it's just been flourishing.
What are some of the things that you do? Good morning, Tasha. Good morning, Hezi.
Good morning.
What are some of the things that you do in the community right now?
I have a food distribution program, and I distribute food throughout Yonkers and other neighboring cities as well. No questions asked. You know, if you need food and you contact me, I bring it to your door. You know, no one needs to stand on a line. No one needs to know your business. You know, it's kept confidential. I also have
That's very exciting.
I'm also a co-founder of the Jefferson Terrace Cooking Academy. My sister is the founder. I'm the co-founder. And we teach the children in the neighborhood as well as in my building how to make things out of what they have at home in the refrigerator. You know, you don't have to have $1 million budget to make a decent meal. So we teach the children this is what you do. You know, this is how you can get it done. You know, my grandmother back in those days, she raised 9 children on very little, and she made it happen. So these are the things that we instill throughout the community.
So are those meals quick and easy? Because it doesn't matter if an old man needs to take a course like that too?
Oh, no. It's funny that you say that because a lot of the adults that drop the children off, they ask us, is it okay if the adults can attend? And I tell them, sure,
right.
They're never too old to.
That's great. That's really good to hear. So
how
did you... Go ahead, Lorraine.
Go ahead. I always
No. I'm going to sit back. You know, I'm a man. You know, I always take a back seat to women.
You silly rabbit. Tasha, you've also done backpack distribution, Easter egg hunts, and things like that in the community as well, barbecues.
Yes. When I became the Tenant Association president for Jefferson Terrace, that year we did a backpack giveaway in Serrato Park, and a lot of the local officials also donated towards the backpack giveaway. That was very successful. I was involved in a Easter egg hunt last Easter in Tibbetts Brook Park. That was a hit. George Latimer came out. It was a beautiful event. This last past Christmas, I did an event with FedEx and Broadway Community Center where we distributed 300-plus toys, advent calendars as well And we had raffles where children won bikes and things like that. For Thanksgiving, I did a turkey giveaway. They contacted me and said that they needed X, Y, and Z, and I was there. I delivered. No questions asked. I mean, I don't take the spotlight in a lot of things because I'm very humble. And I just thank God that I'm able to do what I do for people. There is a lot of things that I do that I don't express that I'm doing it just because action speaks louder than words. And I show how I am by my actions. Anybody can talk about what they're going to do. But if you show what you've done or what you can do, it's just a little bit more, valid, solid.
Well, in a sense, to carry on with what you've just pointed out, does this experience that you have in helping people in the community and beyond, does that give you insight as well as connection to people who can help with governance in the 3rd District? I mean, the people that you know, the companies that you've worked with in the past, can they somehow be engaged to assist the District 3? Because District 3 has not always been taken care of. As from what I see, you can believe differently, and there's no problem with that. It's just that I think that there's a need that hasn't been answered in the 3rd District for a very long time. So how do all your connections help out for you to learn how to manage, how to govern, how to respond to people, and also how to respond with a corporate activists who would consider working with you?
Yes. Well, let me start off by saying yes. The 3rd District is underserved, and it has been underserved for many years. And I feel it's time for a change. I feel the 3rd District deserves full time, honest representation, and I've always worked with stakeholders to get the necessary services for the community. And I will continue to work with stakeholders to make sure that the entire 3rd District is taken care of.
Now, Tasha, the 3rd District.
Go ahead.
The 3rd District is kind of divided. Is that correct?
Yes.
And how so?
Well, there's a north and a south side to the 3rd District, and me knocking on doors throughout the entire district, I've got the needs of both sides, the south side and the north side. And I feel like the needs are well overdue. And it's time that we address these needs and they have someone to speak out for the needs so that they are taken care of. And on the north side, it's the issue.
Well, that's the question. What things that you recognized when you were going out collecting petitions and going door to door, and then also in your other work, compassion for people who needed assistance or help or a leg up. What did you learn were the most important issues in the district?
There are quality of life issues, infrastructure, affordable housing, schooling. There's a lot of issues that they're different sides of the district, but they both have similar issues.
Mm-hmm. Well, people
and
are
I
people,
feel like,
right? They have different, same issues. Okay.
Exactly.
And parks.
What were you saying, Lorraine?
I said also parks.
The parks,
I still can't hear you somehow.
Yeah, Tasha just heard me. I said parks.
Yes, the parks
okay.
need a facelift. I mean, the park down the street from where I live, Serrato Park, beautiful park, it just needs a facelift. I mean, they came in and they did some upgrades. They did. But I think it just could have been better. being that a lot of people utilize that park. So I feel like the upgrade should have just been a little bit better. I mean, they came in, they did a facelift, but I think they need to go back. And we did have a meeting in Serrato Park, and they did agree to come back and look at the park, and they agreed that there's some things that need to be changed. So that's a step in the right direction.
Well, I remember hearing in other people who were previously in office in the 3rd District that they felt there's absolutely no power as a council person representing any district, much less the 3rd District, and they felt that the only power that existed is that of the mayor. Is there an ability to solicit the mayor if he's the only power, or she, whoever ends up being the mayor? Is the mayor the only power that one goes to make them pay attention to the issues of a district? And is that something that you can do? Can you be a proponent for the district before the mayor, whoever he or she may be?
Yes. I mean, I think at the end of the day, we could all work together. It's not about who has this power, that power. I think if we all just come together and be unified, we can get it done. It'll take less time for us to be unified and get it done than for us to be bickering amongst ourselves.
Mm. And do you have specific concepts and ideas that are pertinent and that you're sensitive to because you understand the district as well as you do? Are there issues of concern, like you mentioned, Serrato Park? There are other districts as well. Is there enough police, oversight of the community? Are things missing? What about the infrastructure you mentioned? What about paving of the roads, or that sort of stuff? What matters in the district?
The infrastructure, potholes, quality education, schooling. The children are our future. We know the importance it is to have proper schooling. That's where it starts. So if we're not providing what the children need to become our future, we're shortfalling them. And I need to be the one to go up, and I'm willing to travel to Albany to advocate for Yonkers. I'm a product of Yonkers Public School. My children are products of Yonkers Public School. And I just feel like it's time that they have an advocate to stand up for them. And I know I can be that advocate along with the community, because it's a community effort. We have to all get together. It's not just me. It takes a village to raise a child.
And you mentioned also affordable housing. Is there a way to incorporate affordable housing in a city that seems to be spending a tremendous amount of money in building infrastructure and housing that is market rate? What do we do about the concern of being gentrified out of the community? And is that a good thing that we're doing so much in market rate housing?
No, I think it needs to be a lot more affordable housing. For the simple fact that people that lived here and grew up here, why are they being pushed out? And I believe that I'll be able to work with developers and different people to ensure that they are not pushed out, to ensure that that they are safe, that it's okay to speak out. Because a lot of people, they have a lot of concerns, but they're scared to speak out. And I've learned that knocking on doors. And if I have to be the advocate and be their voice, that's what I'm willing to do.
Tasha, if a developer wants to develop housing in the district, what percentage of it do you want it to be affordable? Because I think right now it's like 10%.
I'm looking for 15 to 20%, and I believe that percentage needs to be overseen by a certain board. So that way, if someone moves in or moves out, we still know that that apartment or that dwelling is going to a person that needs affordable housing. Because a lot of people move in, you know, on affordable housing, and then if they move out, that building does not let others know, look, there's another affordable housing apartment. And then that's how they get market rent, and that's how we slowly get pushed out.
Well, that's the question. Why, you know, up to now, when we look at what's going on in Yonkers, while people talk a good game, they don't legislate any of this into the proper method. Because if you legislate it, then a developer will recognize that an affordable housing component in how many apartments they are in a particular building, that 15 or 20%, as you suggest, must be allocated as affordable housing. And if someone should depart for whatever reasons from that apartment, it should be noticed as an affordable housing unit. And why don't we have legislation toward that end?
Maybe that's something you would think you can do, Tasha.
Yes, that's something that I plan on doing. I'm a big advocate for tenants. I've started my own tenants association. I have helped neighboring buildings in my community start their tenants association. They didn't even know that they had the right to form a tenants association. So myself, along with Deborah Baker and a couple of other people we have in the community, Juanita Perry, you know, it was a long list of people that we've worked together. Dennis Henretti, Legal Services, and I've been there and helped them form their tenants associations and let them know you have legal representation. You know, you have the right to have a voice. And I think that someone like myself, along with the people in the community that I have met along the way, I believe that we can get it done. You know, it's just that a lot of the people that sat before me, they have not advocated. It's not that the job could not get done. You have to advocate for it. And if you're not going to be an advocate for the community, then I think you're no good for the community. I just feel as if the 3rd District has been so underserved that they need representation. Full-time. Yes, it is a full-time job, but they need full-time representation.
Do you think Yonkers is ready to be engaged? Are people going out to vote, or are people reluctant and are not willing to vote? That's one of the biggest problems in the city, I believe, that certain districts, and I'm not particularly calling out one over the other. We've got 6 districts in the city, and the voting pattern is not looking good. What do people look for when they're looking for somebody to be their leader of a particular district? Do you think that you can engage them in to get out the vote? Because that's so important at the end of the day.
It is very important, and I believe that I can. Knocking on doors, it was just a breath of fresh air, a new, fresh, young face that's willing to go out. And if you don't know by now, I collected a lot of my own signatures. So I've knocked on a lot of doors already. And them just meeting me, the candidate, the candidate is in front of me knocking on my door. That right there alone just said a lot.
Right.
And, you know, they recycle candidates. It's the same people. And it's like now someone that's from the community, someone that's like us, someone that knows what we need, what we want. It's actually exciting. The community has.
Well, that's the question, Tasha. What do people want? What are people looking for that they haven't had? And I guess your knocking on their door gave them the opportunity to express what their concerns were. So are they concerned about affordable housing? Are they concerned about the area? Are they concerned about schooling? And you mentioned that they were really concerned about really upgrading Serrato Park, among other places. What is it that the city is not doing to respond to the district? And I'm not blaming that on the city. I blame that on the people who represent the district. It's because they're supposed to advocate for the district.
Yes, you have to be in the district to advocate for the district. If you're not in the district, you cannot be an advocate. You're not going to know the issues. Knocking on doors. I found a lot of the issues are, people are hoping for no layoffs. They want their city officials to hold the state officials accountable. They want quality education. They want the potholes fixed. They don't want them patched. They actually want them fixed. I was on Douglas Avenue, and I knocked on a door. A guy told me he lived there 33 years. He has not seen his street completely paved. It has been patched. And then when you see his property, it's beautiful. He has a beautiful property. It's just that getting to his property, the streets are not in good condition. So a lot of people are.
Well, it's so interesting you bring that up, because I remember years and years ago, I don't even know how long ago it was, but we had a councilwoman from the 6th District, and she advised me that no one has paved not one street in the entire 6th District for 20 years. And she was there, I think, for 10. So before she came on the scene, they hadn't paved it for 20 years, and I don't think they've paved it since. And I am just blown away that these things continue to stand as if they're like entrenched somehow, and I don't understand the silence as well, because we should have the capacity to fix these roads, and it costs us even more just neglecting them, because how many people are driving around with front-wheel drive cars? You go over one of these potholes, and your front end is out of alignment, and people lose tires, and they blow out. The costs are phenomenal, by not doing the right thing.
Right.
So are you going to be advocating for paving our streets? I hope so.
And for schools, and people shouldn't be afraid to leave their apartments. Lighting. There's an issue with lighting in certain areas. I learned that too, because, in petitioning, it got dark earlier this year.
Right.
So, and now at 5 o'clock, 5:30, it was already dark. By that time, it was certain areas that I walked that it was dark. And that was a lot of concern with a lot of the constituents. They were saying, well, we have to try to run out and do everything early, because when it gets dark, we don't know if we're going to be safe. That's a concern. That's an issue to me.
And what about the census? We're going to be doing a census this particular year. I remember when they did the last census, but there were a lot of communities that were never entered by those census takers, and there are so many people that haven't been counted, and I thought that it was important to be counted because we get federal funding based on our population density, and yet people don't seem to say much about that.
And that needs to be addressed as well. I mean, if you're underpopulating us, we're going to be underserved. I mean, that's just the logic to it.
Yeah.
And you need to get people out there that's going to do the job in its entirety. If you take on a job, you have to do the entire job. You can't pick and choose what parts of the job you're going to do. It's just not fair. And that's how a lot of people get left out. And I want to go ahead.
No, I was going to just mention you, because I didn't want to forget you, because we're coming to the end of our time frame with Tasha, and I thought maybe you had a couple of more questions. I'm going to shut up now and take it easy.
No, I just have I love you. I have a couple of questions for Tasha. Tasha, did you get on the ballot?
Yes.
That's a great question. I forgot about that. Thank you, Lorraine.
So congratulations on that. Let me ask you another question. Are you challenging any of your opponents, or are they challenging you?
Well, I'm going to put it like this. There were specs filed because there were flaws in my opponent's petition, and I'm a fair person, and I just feel fair is fair. What's good for me, what was good for one is good for all. And I feel like, everybody's paperwork needed to be addressed to make sure everything was in tip-top shape.
Okay.
What makes everyone that was running or intended to run, are they now all on the list? Are we going to have a major primary contest, do you think?
I mean, if we have to have a primary, I'm looking forward to a primary. I mean, I've walked the district 2 or 3 times already. So if that's what it takes, a primary, then hey. Let people decide, right?
Right.
What makes you a better candidate than the others? What makes you a better candidate than your opponent?
Well, can I mention something? From my perspective, she's better looking than all the other candidates. I mean, I don't know if that's even permitted anymore. But I'm an old man, so I get the right to say that. Is that okay? I hope you're not insulted.
It's true. There you go. That's the answer.
Oh, I think. Well, thank you, Hezi. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, no, thank you. I'm glad you accepted that. It's meant in good kindness.
Well, I think I'm different from the other candidates because I was born and raised. I raised my family here, and I've always been a community person. I believe I will fight for the dollars for our schools so we can ensure that our children have the resources that they need. And also, I'm going to have a big focus on affordable housing as well. And I just feel like when you're from Yonkers, you're born and raised, you're a lifelong Yonkers resident, you know what Yonkers was before and you know what it is now. And I feel like it needs just a woman's touch, a nice nurturing. And I believe I'm the one that can give it that little nurturing that it needs to strive. It's pushing forward, but it's still struggling a little bit. And I think I can give it that extra push in the right direction.
I want to ask you one more question because it came up in my mind. The city is supposedly expecting to get funding from the state with respect to building new schools. Is it conceivable that we could have at least one major school in every district? So we could have like 6 major schools, especially if we're going to be renovating or rejuvenating or building more, so that kids don't have to travel so much to get to school?
Yes, I heard that they were looking at St. Denis. That is an awesome location. It's off of McLean Avenue. It's a big building, and I think that would be an awesome location. It's sitting there. It's not being utilized. It's in the district. It's in walking distance from whichever angle you're coming from on the south side of the district. I think St. Denis will be an awesome place for a school.
At the moment, though, isn't that I thought we were renting it for a little bit of time because we had problems with the Padea 15 school because of problems with the roof and so on. So are we still renting it? Do you know?
That I don't. I'm not sure. I know they were looking at that schooling and possibly a community center in the bottom. Which if we get a community center in the area, that would be awesome because I was looking into starting an apprenticeship program because I graduated from Saunders Trade and Technical, as well as my daughter and my son will graduate here. And I know the importance of trades and union building and, things like that. And I think that would be an awesome program, an apprenticeship program to bring into Yonkers as well.
That's another thing I wanted to ask, what you thought. We spend a tremendous amount of money, but not everyone is interested or has the desire to go into college for whatever degree they're looking for. But we don't seem to invest any money in teaching people some sort of skills, whether it be in cuisine or woodworking or, like Con Ed workers, they earn a lot of money, but that's the old technology. Now we're looking at solar panels and stuff like that. Could you be a proponent from the district to suggest that we invest more money from that if you're engaged in and interested in schooling structure and what we're teaching?
Yes, I graduated from Saunders Trade and Technical as a licensed cosmetologist. My daughter graduated 2 years as a licensed cosmetology and barbering. You see how the skills went up, because when I went, it was just cosmetology. She got cosmetology and barbering.
Okay.
And my son is attending. He will be graduating this year. He's taking graphic design.
Really?
So they will be leaving school with a So also my sister graduated from Saunders Trade and Technical with cosmetology, a licensed cosmetologist. And I believe that if we bring more schooling and programs like this, children that, like you said, are not college ready or not college bound, or, at least they can have a future as well. And yet again, knocking on doors, I met a guy, Mr. Reynolds, and he's willing to start an apprenticeship program with me. And he lives right in the area.
Really?
And he told me, yes, and he told me apprenticeship programs is what saved his life. He is a productive part of society today because someone took him under their wing in an apprenticeship program. And he told me I was a street person. I never thought that I would be where I am today. And he said the apprenticeship program saved my life. And he's willing to work with me and the unions to bring this back into Yonkers because he knows the importance. And I respect that. And that's one of the things that I'm willing to work on as well, the apprenticeship program.
Wow, that's encouraging. Okay, so let me stop again then, Lorraine. Any last words? What do you think?
Yeah, I just want to say a point of information, a personal point of information about Tasha.
Okay.
And I see her passion with children and educating children. Tasha is also a foster mother. She's adopted one child, and she's getting ready to be a foster mother to another child coming in June. And that speaks a lot of volumes about her character.
Yeah.
I was a foster parent at the age of 21. Yep, I was a foster parent at the age of 21. I had a 3-year-old. I just gave birth to a newborn, and I took in a child. She was 4.5, almost 5 years old. I raised her for 18 years, and now, yes, I'm stepping back into it. I'm gonna foster another child. She'll be here June 4th, and I can't wait for her to come. And that's what I'm getting ready for as well.
Wow.
That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, well, that takes a tremendous amount of strength. Yeah.
And, everybody will get to meet her.
That should be a celebration.
Yeah, everybody will get to meet her. She'll be on the campaign trail with me. She's 10 years old. She's 10. And she's a doll. I love her to death. And I can't wait to see her.
And she's coming in from Florida, right?
Yes, she's coming from Florida, June 4th. I'm headed down to LaGuardia to go pick her up.
Awesome.
Well, thank goodness you picked a good time of the year to bring her to Yonkers, because it won't be so different from Florida, but my God, you're going to have to get her ready for our winters. It's not going to be easy.
And school's out.
Well,
the minute school is out, school is out that Friday, and she'll be here that Monday. So I'm not wasting any time. So as soon as school is out, she'll be here. And I have her room set up and ready and waiting for her to come.
Nice, very nice. Yep. Well, thanks,
She'll have
Tasha.
her own
Any last
home.
words that you Uh-huh.
I just want to say thank you for having me, Hezi. It's always a pleasure.
Sure.
Lorraine, thank you. Always a pleasure. And let's keep in touch. And
all right.
You'll hear more from me on the campaign trail.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
You're gonna be back on the. She's gonna be back on the show, right? Right, Hezi?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I spoke to your scheduler this morning, and so we're going to have you back on the 23rd of April, and then every second week thereafter, so that we can really delve more into the different issues and concerns of the district, and your input on it, and to show people the relevance of it all. So very exciting.
Thank you.
And then